I know being live for hours and hours on end, you can misspeak, and that is exactly what happened whenever I said the thing about the US military.
You tripled down on it. Are you serious?
I will never have any fucking pity for any fucking soldiers. US military? Who fucking who? Based? Like, I'm not walking back on it. I still fucking agree with it. Based? I said it in a way in which I didn't mean, and I also clarified it on Twitter. The beginning of the clip was worded poorly, and I do apologize for that.
Jeez, so Frogan just responded to Ethan Klein, and I gotta say, it's truly unbelievable. She basically activated full-on crybully mode, trying to act like Ethan is completely responsible for all of the harassment she's received lately. And while, sure, she has received quite a bit of harassment lately, that would be because all of the ridiculous things she has said and done recently. This didn't just come out of the blue or something. She essentially intentionally put a target on her own back, trying to insert herself into the Ethan Klein drama for some clout. And it was all because he had a disagreement with her favorite multi-millionaire socialist streamer. Look, girl, you wanted to play the viral controversial statement game for some streamer clout? Now you're acting like the kitchen is just too hot for you or something? Jeez, yeah. Take a look at this, guys.
Hi, my name is Frogan, and this is the first time I'm ever making a solo YouTube video about everything that has happened the last year and a half. I think the content cop was great. You know, I feel like Ian approached it in a way that nobody else does. He approached it with empathy, and, you know, it was supposed to make people feel bad for Ethan. One of the main things, especially as content creators, people tend to dehumanize us and forget that we're living normal people just like you. And I've even said this before, I feel like we need to stick to the basics as to why Ethan Klein deserves to be criticized, and that is for being pro-Israel and trying to deplatform pro-Palestinian content creators.
We misspoke. It didn't sound good. We immediately corrected ourselves. You know, that's how mature people do. That's how how you're supposed to handle yourself, isn't it? Like, what more do you want me to do?
I have no problem apologizing and admitting and whatever is needed when things happen.
This was in response to people bringing up how Hila said Yoav Gallant was a great guy, even though he's literally a war criminal and pro-genocide. I'm a live streamer as well. I know being live for hours and hours on end, you can misspeak, and that is exactly what happened whenever I said the thing about the US military. I said it in a way in which I didn't mean, and I also clarified it on Twitter by saying, the US military has conducted some of the most horrific crimes against humanity in the modern era in countries such as Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, Lebanon, and Palestine. My anger is directed at individuals who are currently championing these war crimes as if they liberated my people. It's horrific and disgusting. The beginning of the clip was worded poorly, and I do apologize for that. I go on to clarify in the clip that I do not mean all military, but specifically those with no remorse. What I said was out of frustration as they are currently bombing my family in the name of liberation. I realize that wishing people harm isn't the best way to talk about these issues, and that I could have talked about these topics in a more sensitive way. I'm a live streamer as well. I know being live for hours and hours on end, you can misspeak, and that is exactly what happened whenever I said the thing about the US military. I said it in a way in which I didn't mean, and I also clarified it on Twitter.
You tripled down on it. Are you serious? Just stand on it. F the troops. If you hate soldiers, and fucking say it. Oh, she can't maybe because she's on Twitch because of the policy. Bro, you literally fucking didn't she literally triple down?
Yeah, he is in fact right. She did literally triple down on this sentiment, only backstepping on it after being banned on Twitch.
I have no pity at all for any fucking soldiers. Distress, thank you so much. I will never have any fucking pity for any fucking soldiers. US military? Boo fucking who? I hope you get PTSD. Any other motherfucker, you're joining them, you're like, oh my god, I want my fucking Camaro, no student loans. Fuck you. I hope you get PTSD. And I hope you get no health insurance when you get back into fucking America. And they posted it in my head. I'm like, base? Based? Like, Like, am I supposed to be like I'm not walking back on it. I still fucking agree with it. Aw, base.
See, Frogan is only sorry when they have consequences. And when Ethan has the audacity to talk about her extremist behavior, like her wanting to do a baking stream where she recreates 9/11, Ethan is all of a sudden the bad guy for directing harassment at her by what? By being a bigger creator and talking about her insanity? Look, I'm just sorry. When the guy is talking about the growing extremist problem on Twitch and how big creators like Hassan are making smaller creators like Frogan think that they can make insane comments for clout as well, how in the hell do you not expect him to use you as an example? I mean, it just perfectly illustrates his point. I mean, it's pretty clear that you're trying to imitate Hassan, just like you did with your apology. You took a page right out of his playbook to try and explain your comments.
So you said America deserved 9/11. Did you mean that?
No, obviously not, especially considering the fact that while that is a very viral quote that is going around currently, if those people were at least even remotely charitable or cared about the actual truth of what I was talking about, they would understand that within context, I was simply referencing the fact that all of the foreign policy decisions and our arming of insurgent groups in the region and our efforts in destabilizing the Middle East have a direct consequence, a boomerang effect rather, if you will, in causing 9/11.
I said it in a way in which I didn't mean, and I also clarified it on Twitter by saying the US military has conducted some of the most horrific crimes against humanity in the modern era in countries such as Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, Lebanon, and Palestine. My anger is directed at individuals who are currently championing these war crimes as if they liberated my people. It's horrific and disgusting. The beginning of the clip was worded poorly, and I do apologize for that.
Sheesh, what a strategy. Make insanely controversial statement for clout, then when you get backlash, just try and act like there's some sort of deep explanation to your comments. And what you actually meant is just so layered and complex. I promise I'm not just being an extremist asshole.
I received a text asking to say something nice about Ethan, and to be honest, I thought about it long and hard because I was like, this man does not deserve anything nice from me. But I said, you know what? I'm going to do it. Maybe it'll give me some closure. So I wrote a letter to Ethan and I read it off, and iDubbbz put it in the video. And this was Ethan's reaction to the video.
I bet you would.
Because I don't want to sound robotic. H3 used to be this force for good that I used to watch. I hope that one day gets back to what I remember. You were one of the inspirations for me to start creating content, so all this has stunk. I hope you really hear this, and I wish you the best.
Listen,
Thank you.
Frogan, she's so dumb that you almost can't be even mad at her.
She did wish us the best in the end. It almost felt like the nicest one of them.
I think she was the only one being genuine, actually. So I don't want to, whatever, just Frogan, just chill, okay? Just stop being an idiot and I'll stop talking about you. It's really simple math.
She's also by far the smallest creator of the bunch.
Right.
I mean, is it even like cool that he included her? Like, she's just gonna get more for being involved.
It's not cool.
And like, it's not.
He knows what like this entails.
This part made me laugh because it was very tone deaf, and he's acting like half of his content nuke wasn't about me. Half of the content nuke, the entire ending half, was about me. So if I'm so irrelevant and so uncool to include, why the f was I in your god video?
Like, Hassan can handle it, but like Frogan's now just gonna get a pile of shit on top of her that I have no control over because people are watching. Millions of people are watching his video, by the way, and they're reacting to it, and they're not having good reactions.
Not
to
just our audience.
Far from our own. Yeah.
I think it's funny that you think me being in the iDubbbz video is what's going to cause this harassment, when in reality, it's you, Ethan. You're acting like you haven't spent the last year and a half doing everything in your power to push people to bully and harass me, including weaponizing propaganda organizations such as the ADL to get me banned off Twitch because I made a joke about you not being able to say Habibi.
Brother, they are not trying to say you aren't cool to include in the video because you aren't popular or something. He's saying that it isn't cool to include you because it's going to direct even more harassment your way. Harassment that you tried and sit here and act like Ethan is responsible for, when you tried just so damn hard to insert yourself into the Ethan bandwagon.
So how come you don't like Palestine?
I like Palestine.
No, you don't.
Why do you say that?
Because, bro, you're... wasn't she in the IDF?
Yeah.
Same for
Oh, damn, that's
Frogan.
crazy.
Mandatory service.
That's
She was born
sad.
there.
That's bro.
She was born there.
That's sad. Feel bad for you guys. Ethan Klein, bro, you're ugly as bro. You're ugly as You look like a rapist.
Look at the fucking.
You look like a rapist, Ethan. Feel bad for you guys. Ethan Klein, bro, you're ugly as bro. You're ugly as You look like a rapist.
Yeah,
bro.
there's literally a Sneeko fan. The
Oh my God, bro, I love you. Can I give you a hug, bro?
I'm so sweaty, bro.
I love you, bro.
I'm so sweaty.
I love you, bro. I have to interview you. You're my hero, bro. I love you, bro. You're the coolest guy in the world, bro. Hold on, I think I look gay now. Hold on.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Weird. Almost like you were begging for the attention you inevitably received. Poor you, I guess. Frogan, all I gotta say is, if you really are crumbling under all this pressure from being in the spotlight, maybe being a content creator isn't for you. Or, at the very least, you should maybe just try not to be such an easily hateable person. But at least one thing that I could respect that you've said in this video is that you think that Ethan's kids are off limits.
And I've even said this before. I feel like we need to stick to the basics as to why Ethan Klein deserves to be criticized, and that is for being pro-Israel and trying to deplatform pro-Palestinian content creators. I think it's insane to involve his children and anybody else that really doesn't deserve the criticism.
Look, I'm glad that you think Ethan's kids should be off limits, but I don't think you remember that the girl that you did that intro with in iDubbbz's video, she's literally famous for downplaying people calling CPS on Ethan after her stream watching Bad Empanada's insane ramblings about Ethan's housekeeper lawsuit. She just sat there watching her chat essentially jack each other off about calling CPS, and then basically encouraged it. Then tried to justify that by saying kids don't form memories that early in life. Like, Frogan, I'm glad that you think his kids are off limits. That's awesome. But your buddies, though, they clearly don't seem to think the same thing.
He lets his dogs shit all over his mansion, and he just leaves the shit on the floor, something that is probably related to the fact that his former housekeeper is suing him for a number of different reasons. And he has kids, and his kids like crawl into the dog shit, and God forbid, I don't know what they do with it. I don't know if they eat it or if it's just from like contact with it with their hands or something, but they contracted a parasite that I had previously never heard of in my life called Giardia.
Create any bad memory for them. You're not forming memories at 3 years old, and it's very rare that you're forming memories at 5 years old. Now, yes, you are. No, you're not. When we're talking about being able to remember, being able to recall memories, it's like 4 is the cutoff. But even if you are forming any memories at 4, you're not going to be able to remember them past like 15. You have maybe 1 or 2 memories.
It's truly baffling to me how these people can think that they're the victims because Ethan is talking about their insane behavior, because he's trying to show that Twitch is essentially allowing extremist content because it aligns with their political views. These people sit here all day watching clips and laughing at other people saying how horrible they are, day in and day out. But as soon as that cycle comes for them, they cry harassment. Truly insane, if you ask me. You have Denims and Frogan making pseudo-apology videos trying to get ahead of the fact that the public isn't taking iDubbbz's content cop as well as they would have hoped. And it seems like people aren't liking this Frogan video either. But I gotta say, this crybully streamer is just really getting on my nerves. These people, they're just so willing to shit on others, but they just can't handle it when it turns around on them. Frogan does it, Denims does it, hell, even Hassan does it. The way these grifter streamers work, it's just so formulaic. I just wish more people can see what they're doing is just entirely intentional. It's all a game of clout to these people. Make a controversial statement for clout. People respond to said controversial statement. Cry that your minority status or religion is the reason people are targeting you for your controversial statement. All so you don't have to take responsibility for it. Then, rinse and repeat. Ugh, the cycle. It's just so tiring. Anyway, guys, I said my bit. I hope you guys liked the video, and if you did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. And if you want to see more content like this, YouTube thinks you're gonna like this video right here.